Hi, thank you. Hi, hello, I'm Amira. I'm from University of Malaya, from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. My topic will be on social participation and the health status of older persons, a community-based participatory action research approach. This is the outline of my presentation. So, firstly, let me introduce to you where Malaysia is. So, it is right here. The peninsula of Malaysia is located in between Singapore, Indonesia, and Thailand. And we have the west of Malaysia, we have Sabah and Sarawak. The peninsula of Malaysia is so how far is it from Taiwan? It took about 4 hours and 45 minutes by direct flight. And so my community of interest is located in Senawang, Negeri Sembilan. It is a suburban town, about 70 kilometers from the capital of Kuala Lumpur. So this is a satellite town which has many local amenities such as schools, shops, housing areas, public transport hubs, and lots of factories. And then the majority of people involved in my study is from the ethnic Malay. This is the typical Malay look. This is the typical Chinese Malaysian look, and this is the typical Indian in Malaysia. Together we make a great Malaysian. So, with a population of 32.6 million, the ethnic Malay make up the majority, followed by the minority of Chinese, Indian, and others. The aftermath of the British occupation in the 1700s until 1957 was compartmentalization of ethnic groups according to economic function. Therefore, the Malay majority lives in the rural and the suburban area, traditionally working on agricultural sectors. We are farmers, while the minority ethnics, they stay in the city. Most wealth are held by the ethnic minority Chinese through retail trade. My project is therefore focusing on Malaysia older persons who live in the suburban community. So I will start. The loneliness is a common problem among older people, which is associated with poorer health. Older people should therefore be encouraged to remain active socially and physically. These measures are expected to increase mobility, reduce disability, and prevent morbidity. We have described the process and challenges of a social participation program targeting older people in a suburban community in Malaysia. My methods is it is a community-based participatory research design using both quantitative and qualitative approach. Baseline data was obtained during a standardized during two health screenings using a standardized data collection document and obtained during a series of health screening programs. The analyzed data was presented to the community and they give feedback. This will be followed by a semi-structured focus group discussion, and an intervention will be designed based on these findings. A follow-up data will be obtained at the end of the intervention. However, during this presentation, I will only focus on the process and challenges of engaging with the community using descriptive analysis. So these are pictures from the health screenings that I conducted in Senawang. A thematic analysis of our field notes revealed three main themes. First, understanding cultural aspects and hierarchy to engage into a community. Second, paternalistic society. That is the belief that the government is solely responsible in developing the nation. And third is researchers' expectation of the community members' cooperation. Theme number one, the masjid, the community that I work with. So the chairperson is a man, and most of the community members are male. Only few community are female, which only in charge of female-related activities, such as female religious classes and arranging female teachers for classes. Therefore, I, a female researcher, had to pass my letters or invitation through my brother-in-law, who mostly communicate with the committee in between prayers. Also in one incident, I tried to discuss an activity with the female committee, and at that time I thought we agreed to do the discussed activities, but when I did a follow-up, she said she can't decide anything and asked me to discuss again with the chairman, and the chairman was reluctant to discuss further details, instead asked another committee member to handle my situation. Theme number 2, paternalistic society. This belief goes back to Malay community development during the 1970s through to 1990s, where Malaysia introduced the new economic policy strategically for Malays and indigenous people. The objective was mainly to restructure the economy and reduce income gap between races. This policy creates a society that depends too much help from the government. This is a top-down approach. The community members were expecting that we, the university, to bear all the expenses, regardless of my explanation that this is a participatory collaboration project. They were used, the community, they were used to politicians or government people covering the cost of any activities that they conduct. And theme number 3, because I am dealing with community people, that my family is also a part of the community, so I think the rapport built will last a long time. Therefore, my family members are involved extensively in the program, in preparing with the program. Therefore, I need to take things as it is. I need to follow the community flow. The Malays are generally very laid back and passive. They are in their comfort zone, they're easily content. So all the activities are done quite slow, or the progress is quite slow. There's another health screening event the previous week, but neither me or my brother-in-law was informed, so I speculated that they wouldn't want to discourage us or push us away because this health screening is a benefit to them, so they still obliged to have our health screening program, although it is 2 consecutive weeks of the same activities. And I believe that this is the norm or the culture of the Malays, not to displease other people, especially when the proposal comes from an established institution and that they have much respect on. I've come to my conclusion. So the CBPR, community-based participatory action research cycle, is arbitrary, and we admit that CBPR is less rigorous because for a community-based project, it is difficult to introduce a hard study design such as an RCT. So we attempted an RCT previously in the Klang Valley. It is an urban area, and it was a lesson learned for us when nobody wanted to take part. So the question here, is it possible to do an RCT in a community setting? For us, we just do the participatory action research after what we have gone through before. So, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone have any question or any idea to share? We know we have also some other presentation, have the similar community-based participation research method. So any other idea to exchange? Or okay. Microphone.
I think this is very important research you're doing. It tells us a lot about what participation means. And so really understanding culture is what you're telling us about, and that's critically important. You know, we write about methodologies, but the voices like yours would say, well, that's all fine in that setting. It doesn't work here, and here's what it looks like. So do write this up. It's very nice.
And thank you
Thank you for your encouragement. And, any other question or any other remark? So may I know what's your next step? What's your future plan of this community or this research?
So I'm only at the beginning of the process, which is I've done the 2 health screening just to get involved with the community, but then I still have a focus group discussion to do, and then I am planning for intervention for the community, and then I will probably do another health screening for follow-up after a few months.
Okay, and okay. Next question.
Just curious about the flyer you passed.
Yes.
What's that for?
Oh, okay. May I invite Prof. Tan Maupin to explain about the flyers? It's a conference.
I said only in few seconds.
Okay.
With these two flyers, one is for a book that we've written based on the work that we've done in the Klang Valley, and we're trying to actually apply this work outside the Klang Valley. And also there's actually an international World Congress for Falls and Postural Stability, the first ever such congress to be held in Kuala Lumpur in the beginning of December, 4th to 7th of December to come. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.